Big goal, and it could certainly help our community, training 10,000 people to recognize the signs of mental illness. To make this happen, several hospitals have teamed up to bring that training here to Northeast Florida. It ranks the second lowest in the state for mental health funding, so these hospitals are offering an 8-hour course teaching people how to understand, identify, and respond to mental illness. And anyone can take part in this. So we were there last week when you all announced this and launched this plan. Here to talk more about what those signs and symptoms are, Dr. Ellen Williams with Baptist Health. Appreciate you coming in today. You know, I liked when you and I were talking, you kind of equated this to CPR, how you can step in and literally save someone's life. It's a much different skill, though, than just kind of stepping in that moment. This is something you kind of have to observe and kind of go in a little carefully when you're discussing it.
Yes, and this isn't just for helping people to identify someone in an acute crisis, but also really distress. So being able to understand what signs and symptoms to look for, and then being able to connect people with resources is what this training will do.
And it's not really that hard. I mean, not everyone's going to take the training, but just for the general population. You know, you and I were talking, I was like, you know, you don't want to intrude or feel like you're getting in someone's business, but it can be a simple question like, how are you doing? Is everything okay?
Right. If you see someone who is tearful often, or seems to be have lost hope, or not doing the things that they used to enjoy doing, then you can ask them, you know, how are things going? Are you doing all right? Do you know how to get help if you need it? That kind of thing.
What's the response that you're looking for? I mean, if someone says, I'm fine, you know, do you let it go at that point, or do you kind of maybe press further or ask a family member? What is that next step?
Yeah, it really depends on what you're looking at. If it's just a friend of yours at work, you might not want to press further. But if it's a family member and you've noticed this has been going on for months or years, you might want to ask the next question. You know, are you really fine? I've noticed that this is happening or that's happening. Have you ever thought about getting, you know, more help?
And the training really geared, you know, you said towards educators, towards clergymen, you know, people that really are those first responders to different people in different environments in our community.
Yeah, this training is for non-mental health professionals. This is for everyday citizens who encounter people on a regular basis. So, like you said, clergy, educators, congregants in churches or synagogues or whatever. Also, first responders, all the police officers are getting the training. Even healthcare professionals in hospitals sometimes need the training.
You know, we talk about our police and our firefighters. I mean, they're called into such tense environments, and we've certainly seen some national cases where mental health plays into it. And that response maybe is a little different than if you're just dealing with someone who's aggressive and could potentially hurt others.
Yes, it would be wonderful if we can change the culture of police officers and first responders so that they're not as afraid to reach out and maybe offer assistance other than bringing someone into the jail or arresting them immediately or that kind of thing. So if there's a tense encounter with first responders, it's likely to escalate the situation. If we can train them how to respond to people in a mental health crisis so that the situation doesn't get escalated, then everyone will be better off.
What have you noticed in your training and interacting with people? Why is there such a stigma about mental health? I mean, I think it's something that we all know someone who has suffered from depression. You know, you may deny it, and it may not impact your everyday life, but for many of us, it does.
From my point of view, all stigma stems from a lack of knowledge and a lack of understanding, and I think that's definitely true for mental illness. People are afraid of it and they don't understand it, but they used to be just as afraid of cancer and not talk about that and be embarrassed if someone in their family had it. So we want to move the ball from, just like we have for cancer, where people are doing, you know, runs and fundraisers, and last Friday I was at a dance to raise money for breast cancer. We really have to move the ball on mental health as well.
And walking alongside those people who are suffering as well and understanding their place and meeting them where they are is certainly helpful. Thank you so much for talking about this. Hopefully this is something that you are passionate about, and if you are, you can find a course near you. Go to jaxmentalhealth.org. We have all this information on news4jax.com. You'll find it on the morning show page. All right, we want to get caught up on your forecast.